Have you ever had to be the bigger man and walk away? Have you ever listened to friends share how they were verbally attacked by someone so much more pathetic and worthless than they are, and how they preserved their dignity and grace by taking the high road, or depending on who you're talking to, keeping it real and grounded? We all know what this is like for ourselves, to have anger and outrage simmering in our spirit and forcing our mouth to keep quiet to protect the calm we present and guard the humility we so value. When I was in prison, fighting to take control of my life on every conceivable level, I did an extraordinary job of avoiding as much conflict as possible. I was working as hard as I could every moment of the day to rebuild my mind and body, and I knew how important it was that I stay positive and somehow keep my heart open, even though I was in an intensely negative environment. Looking back, I can see that I failed. Sure, I kept my outward calm most of the time, only got sent to solitary once, and I was almost always the bigger man, de escalating dangerous situations with humor, making the right connections, and walking away with the chip on my shoulder a bit bigger each time. But all the while, I was building a more subtle arrogance inside that would overshadow my world for many years to come. It's necessary at the beginning of the journey when our life situations are out of control to do whatever we have to keep things from getting worse. But we all know deep down that the freedom we are longing for is absolute, all encompassing, total. We are sick of limitations. And at the same time that I was being the bigger man in my new prison, I was also letting my mind convince me that I was so much better than everyone else around me because of it. I was merely acting humble and pretending to be respectful to everyone around me. And I must be a great liar because it was almost 5 years after leaving that place that I first began to respect anyone or learn what humility even felt like before it finally opened the doors to something bigger. Once we learn to be strong in our spirit, to be calm and loving in our hearts, we don't need to carry the burden of our false modesty. We don't need to waste time playing spiritual games of superiority while we pat ourselves on the back for our supposed victories over the ego. Once we do the work to master these aspects of our own journey, we begin to experience the bliss of true humility, the humility of the spirit, the humility that dissolves into presence and opens doors to pure art and true creation. We can see that in our core, all of us are not only the same, but we're actually one. We see no separateness in the essence of any individual who journeys beside us, no matter how they may choose to walk. And at the same time, we experience the freedom to stand our ground, rooted in our strength and clarity, and use our minds to direct our world in the way we know serves the highest good of ourselves and those around us within the many seasons we have been given to shape our integrity. But the old world doesn't want to allow us this freedom. They want to convince us that we need certifications and letters after our name to speak our truth in any area of our lives. They would have us believe that our clarity is ego and begin a civil war within our spirit to undermine the power of truth that has taken up residency there. They want us to question our truth with their narrative so that they do not have to listen to the authority that we now peacefully transmit in and through our very being. So we strive in joyfulness. We persevere through love. We persist in patience. We stay vigilant all hours of the day against a mind that would allow us to lose our clarity, to forsake our freedom so that it can seize power once again and play its games with our perspective. We never allow ourselves, no matter how far we have come, to believe we have arrived at some destination that no longer requires us to learn from others, to grow from both the horrors and blessings of our history and heritage, and to seek always to reach higher on this path that passes into the heavens. We do the work, and the more we come to know the truth, the more humbled our spirit becomes as we show our mind every day that we have merged with something that knows no boundary, something that is far beyond the realm of the tricks played in the joker's domain that our false modesty once lived in. So don't ever give up. And don't ever harbor shame for where you've been or where you are on your journey right now. Immerse yourself into the feeling of freedom that is stirring in your spirit as you hear these words and carry on with your heart open. Freedom is waiting just up ahead, and it will walk with you.